Sure.
All right, so let us begin. So, just as kind of like a heads up, that this will involve a lot of time skipping. So, there will be a lot of details that just kind of are. Um, they won't be available. Now,
Sure.
in the future, we'll be revisiting our past here and kind of fleshing things out, but in order for the sake of time, instead of creating like 20 different session zeros, I'm trying to condense things down so we can all actually get to Batavia and start it proper. Um, and let us begin, I suppose. Let's see if the music bot works this time. If not, you'll just have to open it up in the background. Something
Cursed
unexpected
music.
occurred. Wow, okay.
Nice.
So,
Classic.
please play that. And just keep it on loop for your background sound.
Sure thing. Let me go ahead and pop it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I have to loop this one. It's 4 hours long.
That's fair. Okay. Uh, so if you last remember, you went hunting out with your father. And you came across a runaway slave that Felix Xavier was hunting down with his automatons. There was some back and forth about father being able to give Felix's automatons firearms. And then when you headed home, and during that night, after father had left for a few days, your mother was unfortunately killed. You did your absolute best effort that you possibly could have ever done, due to you not only getting like 18, I believe, for perception. Let's actually look through the chat. Perception check of 18, a natural 20 on medicine check trying to save your mother, but unfortunately, nat 20s don't mean success in this game. She had her throat slit open, as well as I decided that I was going to go ahead and give you this extra little bit of information due to your wisdom check for medicine,
All right.
or medicine. But when her throat was slashed open, there was a type of poison that entered into her system.
Oh.
Now, there's no visual signs of this poison at all. However, you, despite doing your absolute literal best efforts trying to stop the bleeding with the gauze that Zachary gave you, it just quite literally wasn't enough. So this poison, which you should write down, is that it has no physical effects, and there was no, how should I say, like, different colors, right? There was no coloration.
Right.
But due to your
Yeah,
natural
so it would
20,
be like a colorless,
yes,
um,
colorless,
colorless
odorless
liquid,
type of poison.
odorless. Yeah. Okay.
Now, with your survival check, which I believe uh, was to hunt down and track the culprit,
Mm-hmm.
you rolled yet again another natural 20. And I decided to give you an additional piece of information with this as well. So, in addition to the dagger that you had found, which now that you know it actually has poison on it, you might want to keep that dagger around. As well as that, the dagger had a crest of a raven, but the wings that were kind of on its crest at the handle hilt between the blade and the hilt itself in that in-between crossguard section, it was very faded and kind of like cut out. However, the additional information that you had received, which allows you to know that the dagger had a raven insignia on it at one point, is that you also found a ring alongside of the dagger. The ring was buried beneath some mud and shrubbery, and you somehow, through your natural 20, was able to glean it from the speckling dagger that was on top of it. The ring itself is dark. It is extremely dark, and the head of the ring is actually the insignia of a raven proper. Using that little bit of structure and outline from it, you could tell that what was cut off of the dagger itself was that same symbol.
Okay, so the raven insignia was something that was imprinted onto the dagger, but then was eroded away, or like
Think of it as like
removed.
think of it as like scrubbing serial numbers off of a firearm. It was quite literally like shaven down.
Okay.
But due to the outline of how the shavings were, of cutting that area kind of out, and due to the insignia of the ring, they match up in terms of the outline. So you could very much assume that the dagger was had that same insignia over it.
Okay. So effectively, because of the ring, it was something that Otto was able to put together, that, like, looking at the size of the ring and the general outline, that, okay, well, these seem to match up, and they seem to be of the same crest.
Yes.
But the ring has much clearer definition of what the crest would look like, whereas the dagger, it's pretty scuffed.
Correct. And the ring itself is not
piece...
deformed in any way. It is literally a perfect preservation of the insignia.
Okay. Let me think. Is this like a ring that you would also do for letter sealing, that you could press onto wax seals?
You could press it and it would form the outline. I wouldn't say it would be made for that specific purpose.
Okay.
But in addition, it could still be used for that purpose. Like, because the top of the ring itself is literally just the insignia emblem. So you could, even though it's not designed for it.
Right. Yeah, it, probably would not have the depth required to portray that in a wax seal, but okay.
Now, I would like for you to roll Arcana. I know this is kind of weird for your character, but when picking it up, it gives you a sense of, like, a little bit of buzzing between your talons.
Alright, 14.
With a 14, you're not exactly sure why the ring is kind of like giving this slight buzz, but you could presume that it is magical of some nature. What it is unknown at this current time.
Alright. Good to know. Do I know what material the ring is made of? Since it is dark colored, is that a hint to what its material type is?
No.
Okay.
In the background information, no, but I can go ahead and write that down and give it to you after the session. That wasn't originally planned, but it would help. I just need to figure out what type of material would be around.
No worries.
Do you remember your culprit at all in the interaction of you shooting at him? Do you remember the physical characteristics?
Yes. So far, the culprit was a bat pony that was had yellow irises.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, they had yellow iris. Um, but that was also something that was imprinted onto the dagger. So, yeah. But they were clothed up, and I didn't get quite too much further, other than their race as well as just kind of their eyes. So,
One thing that you should write down for the culprit is that when you shot them in the leg and shattering their
yes.
kneecap.
Okay.
You shot a very clean shot against them.
Yeah, I knew it was like a leg shot. I just didn't know if it was if a kneecap. Because yeah, I mean, magic can always repair things, but yeah, you get your kneecap shot, you're not having a good time.
Yeah.
Uh, During that time and afterwards for basically forever. But I mean, restoration, can just heal that up probably. But
Now, let us get on with the session itself, because there's quite a lot of it that we need to get through.
yep.
Rain, thunder, and lightning clash overhead. Grabbing the knife, you inspect it, and then you notice that the ring insignia that was scratched off is the same one of the ring that you picked up. Behind you, you see torches come alight from the servants' quarters. Running over to you after hearing the gunshot, the head butler, who's an old gray griffin, calls out, "What in blazes is going on?"
Was this Harkin or one of the servants?
So Harkon is a mayor, and to give you some context, since I think I didn't do so last time, Harkin was taking Veer back home, which happened the day after Father left. It's been a few days since then, and
Yep.
Harkin was just there to drop him off, basically, making sure he's home safe. So Harkin's gone.
Okay, got
and
it.
he has been
I
gone.
thought he was sticking around until Father came back. So, got it. Okay.
Alright,
Understood.
and then the head butler goes over to you and looks at the items that you're carrying, as well as the rifle that's slung back over around your shoulder.
I will have, so with tears in my eyes, I will yell at him saying, track him. Please track him.
Yeah, he kind of stammers out, track who? What happened?
There was a bat pony. He Otto will begin mixing up his words, unsure of what to how to even process things. The floodgates that he's been holding back of just relying on kind of his own fear has caught up with him, and he is getting caught up in a sea of emotions.
The head butler...
He begins breaking down, and the only thing he can really do is, in his talons and clutches, he just kind of shoves them into the head butler's chest, expecting he would do something.
With the items?
Mm-hmm.
He takes the items, and he looks behind where two servant maids kind of approaching cautiously. The head butler's eyes are completely dilated. His feathers are standing on point in shock, confusion, and a lot of fear. He hands the items back to the maid. One of the other maids comes around to comfort you, wrapping you with her wings, trying to guide you inside while the storm is raging on. The butler, he doesn't have a lot to go on, but he is going to try his best to find the culprit or look around, regardless of it being a fruitless endeavor. The head butler looks over to the window where he sees it's flung open, He sees the blood on the ground that is next to the well where you shot him and broke, or well, destroyed his kneecap. And then he kind of follows this trail of path, and then after after the hill ends and drops into a cliff, the trail is vanished. It's completely gone. But he doesn't stop looking. He continues. He circles around the house, making sure that, no one's still around before continuing that trail and heading presumably straight wherever it might lead. As you go ahead and enter back into the house, the fire greets you with its loving warmth, but to you now, you're numb. You don't feel the fire's warmth over your fur anymore. You see, in the hall, you see Genevieve holding Tass crying hysterically. Genevieve holding Tass away from the parents' room so she can't see the corpse. You see Veer that is standing near the entrance of the door. And as you come on inside, you see Zachary holding Mother, just the head, and with tears in his eyes. Veer looks to you. Who did this?
Otto will, I forget, is Veer's
Veer's your younger
female,
brother.
right?
Youngest brother.
Brother? Okay. All that Otto has the capacity at this moment is, kind of huddling up by the fire, and he'll just kind of take his younger brother under his wing, and he'll just hug him.
Veer gives you
without saying a word.
very big hug, crying into your fur. Your already soaked fur becoming stained with tears. He keeps stammering out of why. Who did this? Did you find him? All of you already know the answer, but it hurts. It hurts deeply. You see Zachary lay Mother back onto the pillow of the bed. Opening one of the end table drawers, he takes out a stone. You recognize this stone as a creation of Menelidil. It is called a speak stone. It is a way of communicating across long distances. He hands it over to you, and silently, you know what needs to be done. You need to speak into the stone and tell Father what happened. Then you crush the stone so that the message can be sent.
Is this like a sending stone?
Yeah.
And is it constrained by the sending spell, where it's like 25 words, you gotta count them?
Yes, it is. It's
okay.
Slightly different, but yeah. Basically, it's a one-time use. You have to crush it in order for it to send. Your recipient is the person that you're thinking of as you speak into it, and there can only be one recipient at a time.
Right. Okay. But I do have to count my words, though, right?
You don't have to count them too specifically.
Okay. Otto will, he wants to go to his mother's room to, speak, but I don't think he can bring himself to go towards that scene. It is like a black hole for him that he just can't bring himself to get close to. His body seems to physically prevent him from getting closer. So he will go to his room and shut the door. Uh, he will kind of mentally prepare himself. Try to calm his nerves before he will speak into the speaking zone. He will think to Father as he will begin to state. Mother is dead. The culprit was injured. They are a bat pony with yellow eyes. We have their dagger and ring. Mother is dead. Mother is dead. And Otto will crush the sending stone as he kind of, at the very end, is muttering to himself that he still cannot accept the fact that his mother has been killed.
As you crush the stone lets out a whimpering blue light, and the stone crushes pretty easily, kind of like soft clay that folds in pretty well. The message sends to your father, and within 5 minutes, a message rings back into your head. I am on my way. I love you. Get to safety. As you look kind of before you, Genevieve and Tass head into their own room. Genevieve trying desperately to get Tass's mind off things, and maybe even her own as well. Veer and Zachary move past you, going to go sit on the couch in the living room. And in your parents' room lays your dead mother in blood-soaked sheets. Time. Do you want to do anything, or should I do a time pass?
Very briefly,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of describe things. Is that Otto will command the servants to clean up, like take away the bloody bedding, take the body. Well, I guess he wouldn't really know what to do with the body.
One of the servants
he'll
will
just-
speak up. We should await for police to come. They should do their investigation first, but then we will help however we can.
Alright, in that case, Otto will just gather his family together,
Mm-hmm.
and they will all sleep in one room for the night. And he will spend the rest of the night with a loaded musket.
Okay. 9. The servants stay up. The head butler eventually returns inside the house. They don't dare disturb you guys. Before you head to bed, one of the maids lets you know if you need anything, please just let us know and we'll help in any way that we can. The maids, as well as the head butler, all stand around in the house. The head butler, hour by hour, will do a patrol around the little hilltop that you're inside the valley. He's doing his best in making sure that this does not happen again. 9 hours goes by. The front door bursts open with Father. You can hear him outside, and the servants point to the room that you guys are in. Sleep wasn't had that night. Maybe you drifted off for a few minutes here and there, but it couldn't happen. Your father enters the room, his bones and feathers soaked in the rain, making a 3-day journey in 9 hours. He pants, breathing hard, eyes wide, adrenaline pumping. Tass was the first to wake up and run to him, followed by Veer, Zachary, Genevieve, and he leaves room open for you.
Otto will hug his father in kind. At this point, he has been emotionally exhausted, and he cannot, like, his body can't produce any more tears.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he has kind of like the weird breathing that you can get when you cry and you just don't have any more tears, but I don't know what that's called, but
You hear
he still has that irregular breathing from the sorrow.
Tass wails loudly with tears. You hear him say to all of you, "Shh, it's okay. I'm here." And the family breaks into tears of what they could muster. You hear your own rhythmic breathing in irregular intervals. And after a moment of hugging, Father motions for you to come with him. And he grabs you by the arm and he tells the others to stay in the room. You feel Father's grip. It's tight. Not cruel, but trembling with something raw and unbearable. He guides you into an adjacent room. The one with oil-stained schematics, and he gently sets you down on one of the beds. You watch him stand in the doorway for a moment, staring back into the hall, into the parents' bedroom where her body lies. Then, without a word, he walks out of the room. You hear him move through the house. Slow, deliberate steps like iron dragging across stone. A door creaks open, and there's silence. Then, the sound of cloth. He's covering her, you know it. He stays there for a while. Maybe minutes. Maybe hours. Time doesn't really seem to pass normally anymore. When he returns, his face is still streaked from windburn from his desperate flight. But now there's something else there too. Fury carved into grief. His wings drag at his sides like they've forgotten how to carry him. He placed a clawed hand on your shoulder and kneels beside you, folding one wing around your small frame like a shield against the world. Then, another knock. The door creaks open once again, this time with armored footsteps. The Menelidil Guard, officials, and then him. Council headsman, Beckenclaw. Beckenclaw is a close friend of your father's. He steps into the room, and he removes his cap as he enters. His voice is carved from solemn stone, voice low and careful. First, I know this is awful. I'm so sorry we have to ask anything of you right now. But he looks down. We need to understand what happened. Please, tell us what you saw. Everything, Otto.
And Otto will recount. Try to retrace his steps. He remembers sleeping, being awoken by screams, and grabbing the gun to enter his mother's bedroom, where he saw the awful scene before him. It will take a couple of minutes for him to remuster control of himself before he continues. He states that there was a bat pony, one that he could not get clear eyes on.
As you mention the species race, your father's wings tighten around you protectively. He says nothing, but his presence is like thunder held at bay.
And Otto continues, saying that what he could see was the pony's eyes, yellow, glimmering in the night. Before he had shot it in its leg, noting that it had dropped a dagger and a ring.
Go ahead and give me a history check. This is to determine a little bit more information by your recount. Now,
9.
you do have one edge every session if you do want to try to use it here. You don't have to.
Well, so history is just Otto. Is this him retelling it to the best of his knowledge?
No, this is to remember additional details that might have slipped on by in the heat of the moment.
I mean, we do have a good deal of evidence, but I feel like this is a very particular important role, so... I suppose I'll use that inspiration now.
Okay.
History. Is it the better of 2, or is it that the new role replaces the old one?
New role replaces the old role.
Okay, well... yeah, okay. I'll take it.
Okay, with the 23, you remembered one additional detail. One that wasn't exactly spoken, but now as you recall it, you remember the flash of lightnings that shrieked across the sky. And while you were still tending to your mother, your eyes and mind were preoccupied. But thinking upon it now, you did catch a color of the bat pony's coat, his fur. It is tan.
A tan bat pony. That's rather strange.
As you finish up your statement, the silence that follows is thick, broken only by the scratching of pen against parchment as the guard records your voice. Beckenclaw, a tad bit uncomfortable, takes off his glasses and rubs them with his coat, willing away the water from outside. I hate to say this. He kind of looks and says this very carefully. But part of the reason your father was summoned yesterday was because of an emergency vote. Another council member, Felix Xavier, called a session demanding that automatons be granted permission to bear arms. Your father and I, we've both opposed the initiative for some time now. Your father was the deciding vote against the automatons having weapons. He glances over at your father, whose gaze is steel. Then the dam breaks. Your father's voice cuts through the room, hoarse and cracking. The vote ended at 11. 11. I could have been home by dusk, 9 at the latest, but no. I stayed. I stayed like a fucking fool. I got caught up designing a new breech-loaded design, and she died alone. God fucking damn it. Why did I have to choose to leave to this coming morning? All of this is my own doing. He slams a claw against the wall with a dull thud, his teeth clenched, his wing flaring wide for the first time since he has landed. If I just had stayed when I always do, if I had just left when I always do, she would have still been alive. His voice chokes off at the end of a half growl, half sob, and he turns away, one hand against the wall, shoulders trembling. No one speaks, not even the guards, not Beck and Claw, not even you. Only the wind outside answers him, brushing ash and dust across the wooden floorboards like a prayer left unfinished. And in that silence, his wing still never leaves your shoulder. Not once. The police do their thing, taking samples of the scene, and as well as the knife and ring that you had found. Father is boiled. Son, I'm going outside to get some fresh air. He leaves. Father's outside with a shovel. He is sobbing alone, silently, wishing to be left alone. You hear him angrily digging at the ground in Mother's favorite spot. It is the edge of a cliff that faces towards the rising sun. Did that make sense? Just want to make sure of this, but your father was supposed to return home.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday,
no, the session
basically.
ended, the council session was to end.
Except emergency.
I guess the one thing is, so for the timing of it all, is that if he left when he normally would have, he would have arrived home per normal.
Yeah,
but the
late
thing
in
is,
the
he
night,
had
yeah.
to rush. He had to rush home. So is this timing, assuming that as soon as the session ended, he could have rushed home and made it home, or is it that he could have left the session
So
and then
if there was
made a
no
regular journey back?
if there was no emergency session, he would have been home by now. Even with the emergency session, he could have still been home this night, but Father chose to stay and instead leave in the next morning. So this is where you guys were attacked by this home intruder. And by
Right.
Father choosing to stay for one throughout the night, yeah. And it's just
Got
when
it.
happened.
Okay.
Now I'm going to play a new song. And we are doing another time skip. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Time passed. It wasn't fast, but it passed. You grew a little older. You're 16 now. Your father wore a smile again, if only for you and the children. The grief never left his eyes. but in its place bloomed devotion. Together, you and him perfected the rifle. No longer just a weapon, but now a living heirloom of the family. You, with your own intuition, transformed the family hunting rifle into the first modular configuration. It is now mag and breech loaded. Long-range precision, but with a twist. It has a pull and snap mechanism, allowing it to be converted into a compact rifle. So it can change from being a rifle to a repeater, from hunter to survivor. And up at the top of the list, do you see the tab that says items?
Items? Give me a moment. Yes, items. Okay. Bolt rifle?
Yeah.
Was bolt rifle?
So I will be handing you two. Sorry, I went ahead and pulled out the old version, but there you go. Okay. So now you should have two, the bolt rifle and the double shot repeater rifle. And can you open it up just fine?
I don't see the items.
Says you have ownership. Maybe refresh the tab? Like by going out and in.
Give me a moment. Technical difficulties, of course. No, I don't see the items still.
Okay. It's weird.
Oh, no, okay, got it. Never mind. I just didn't click on the folder. For some reason, they were showing up outside the folder, and I was like, okay, well.
So yeah, if you look under details, there's your new rifle that you helped created. The new rifle no longer has the misfire property. You have perfected the art of firearm, basically, in terms of not being able to misfire so much. There's still not ones. But basically, this rifle, it can change from a rifle to a repeater rifle. The rifle has a fire rate of 1, so 1 shot. And both these designs is mag loaded with a reload of 6, meaning you can shoot 6 times before having to reload. And with the rifle version of it, it's a 1d10 with 60-foot normal and 120-foot long range. And it has the mastery property of slow. The repeater rifle has a rate of fire of 2, and its damage is 1d6.
Okay, so one has a larger dice, and you can fire twice, versus the other one is... Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just continue on. Father, he tried to be cheerful around you. And you'll hear him be restless a lot during the night. He would constantly wake up and head outside. You would hear him talking to himself, talking to Muriel, your mother. And he took up a bad habit of drinking. You would see him outside drinking along the cliff next to the cave. And whenever you were around him when he was drinking, he would use one of his wings to kind of put it on the other side of him so it blocked your vision of the beer. he was never abusive or angry at you guys. And the mind games that he atypically played kinda ceased. He's become a much more hollow type of person, only putting on a fake smile in front of you guys. He told you lots of things during these few years. Whether or not it was meant to be for you or him just wanting to talk. He told you stories of Batavia, of a city beyond the horizon, where fate was not given but earned. He warned you of Meneladil's darkness, of teachings too cruel for you to carry. He never told you why, but you saw in his eyes. And on the night of moonless skies, when the clouds hung low, your father grew tired. You saw it for the first time, your father's gray feathers. He asked for you to come over, to speak to him.
And Otto will oblige, taking up by his side, sitting down by him.
He wraps one of his wings around you. Son, I need you to be stronger. I won't be around forever. He kind of hesitates at these words, knowing the weight of them. I've contacted Beck and Claw to come take care of you. So you'll be living in the city of Undranat for a while.
Is everything okay, Father?
Yeah. I know this isn't what you wanted, but I might have found your mother's killer, or a trail of it, at least. I need to look into it. Meneladil can't spare any geese griffins to help me chase this trail. And Beckenclaw, well, he's agreed to take you aboard to finish your education. And as for your brothers and sisters, they too will be put in Undranat. You'll be living with Beckenclaw, or wherever he puts you, I suppose. You'll be under his watch and care. He's a good fellow. He's a real good friend of mine. Hell, he's even agreed to take you aboard to finish your education, and even said that he also has put some funds aside. Or maybe he put my retirement money aside to put you, Otto, in Batavia. He laughs, kicking up a nasty cough.
But Father, what will happen to our home? What will happen to you?
Our home will still be here. It's always will be ours in our family's name. As for me, I'll be fine, son. I may have grown some gray, but I'm still a mighty griffin warrior of Meneladil, huh? I'll be certain to check up with you once in a while. Harkon made a good amount of speakstones, should I need them. Once you finish up your study in Batavia, come and find me, son. We'll look together if I don't find the killer first.
Otto would like to roll insight.
Go ahead.
Into his father's condition. Ah, 14.
With a 14, you know that his conditioning is worsening. He has grown pretty old with age, and this toll that has been put on him has accelerated it so hard against him. What was once youthful-ish is now old. You don't know how long necessarily he has left in life, or what sort of medical condition he might have. But you do know he's growing in age. Uncle Harkon also has a gift for you. From your mother, Otto. It's something he and I have been making for a while. And he kind of looks over. You see him very much gulping. Meet him over by the cutout cave. He's been preparing. It's part of... You hear him, his voice begin to break. It's part of ancestral magic. I'll catch up with you later, son. His words falter near the end. He turns his face away quickly, but you see the pain ripple through him before he goes still. And son, it's going to be a shock what you see, but it is what your mother and I wanted. So please, keep an open mind.
Father,
Yeah.
I don't want to lose you too. Please, Father.
Oh, you won't lose me just as I won't lose you, son. I'll still be around, and you will see me after Batavia. I'll make a promise for that.
But Father, I don't want to go. I want to be with you. Please, Father. Otto's breaking down into tears. His demeanor has kind of changed because it feels like he's being shoved off. Almost like his father is trying to leave him, and by the time he comes back, he won't get the chance to say goodbye.
Father's head lowers. It's very clear from an outside perspective. He's biting his tongue. He doesn't know what to say in this situation. Parenting's never taught like this. What happens when one of your family members dies? What it means for the other family member to kind of step up and to help others. Some people, as part of parenting, can't do that. They can't do it by themselves. He's doing the best that he can, despite the complications that have risen. But he wasn't cut out to do this. He doesn't know how to put it to you in order to make you feel better. He doesn't know how to put it to himself to make himself feel better either. He goes ahead and gives a big, huge sigh. Alright, son. I won't chase after Mother's killer. But I do need you to finish your education. And that's something that needs to be done over by Andranahat. Alright, son?
In tears and a sniffle, Otto will respond. Yes, Dad.
You make the quiet walk alone to the cutout cave. You notice your own mother buried body wrapped completely in bandage cloth that is resting on a stone. And you see Harkon. Hey, I know this may look strange to you, but your mother wanted to be put into a heirloom, and she wants to be with you forever. There's a lot here that, may be confusing, but I'm an ancestral type part of the country, and we specialize in dealing with souls, afterlife. Could you please hand me your mother's amulet that she gave you?
Otto, still kind of in tears. What do you mean? Am I gonna lose her a second time?
No, far from. She will be much closer to you now. It's hard to explain, hard to understand, but her soul will be put into the amulet that you will always have with you. It is a form of magic binding, and it is her last wish. She wishes for her to still be part of her family, and that's you. Instead of the soul resting in the ground, she would much rather rest wrapped around your neck.
I think Otto at this point would not fully understand kind of the meaning of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he would cry out, "Why can't Mother rest? Why can't she be at peace?"
Peace is with you, Otto, not in the ground. She wants this. She's the one who, in her will, wanted this to happen. This isn't something that anyone else decided for her, but herself.
Otto will take a very long time to just kind of mull it over in his mind. He's uncomfortable with the idea, but ultimately he will hand his mother's amulet to him.
Harkin goes ahead and lays it on Mother's wrapped cloth body. He creates a teal-colored flame and washes it just over the amulet and body. The flame quickly engulfs them both. The old man, Harkon, who's a minotaur, takes his other hand and places a coin on his mother's chest, using your mother's two arms to hold over the coin and the amulet. This is ancestral magic. Your mother always wanted to be there for you. She will be what is called a soul coin. Soul coins are bond type abilities. The old man takes the amulet from the fire, now carved into both, and he hands it to you. The burning magenta flames do not hurt you. Instead, the amulet keeps your hands warm. Unmistakably, it feels like your mother is there holding your hands. The coin, however, isn't much of note. It looks like any regular coin. However, through your eyes, you can see it shimmer ever so slightly as you turn it. This soul coin is bonded to you. Your mother will always be there for you now. Soul coins are unique to the bond and are never one and the same. It will grow with you. It's hard to explain, but these soul abilities give you what I just mentioned, kind of abilities. Try using it in creative ways. The more you bond with a bond coin, the more you and your mother grow closer together, allowing it to become stronger for the applications it can be used. It's a shame your mother died, and being an ancestral guardian isn't ever easy. You outlive more than your fair share of generations. When you go ahead and put the amulet over and onto your neck, you feel your mother's wings just as she did that very same night when she wrapped her wings around you by the fire. It does genuinely feel like she is there now. And in fact, she is there as a soul. She gets to hug you whenever she wants now. As for the coin itself is bonded to you. And what it means to be a bonded coin is that you can summon it whenever you want into your hand. This will kind of feel a little out of place, but it's kind of the best way that I can immersively put this in. When you hold the coin, you begin to have a weird sensation in your muscles. A fire grows in your arms. You turn to look at the cans you shoot for practice, and your muscles drive itself to instinctive action. In one smooth, swift motion, you throw the coin into the air while pulling out your gun and shooting the coin. The bullet hits the coin and splits the bullet into two, hitting the two cans you were looking at. When the coin falls, you feel a fire in your hand. Upon unclutching your hand, the soul coin appears there once again, with a shimmer of red as it sets hotly in your hand. So, you now have the bond ability Coin Split. Upon shooting the coin, it will damage 2 targets instead of 1, which the amount of uses is based off your proficiency bonus, which resets on a short rest. Both targets receive the damage based off of the gun type used, and how far you can throw or split the bullet depends on how far you can throw it, plus 30 feet. Soul coins are always bonded to the user and will always end up back to the user should they request. So you can kind of think of the ability like this. Say you have an incendiary round, you can basically split it in half and hit 2 targets with the same amount of damage doing the same effect.
Right.
I know it's kind of a weird introduction to ancestral magic, but that's kind of how firearms versus the ancestral type tribes kind of work.
Got it.
Ancestral magic, they're allowed to commune with the dead. And your mother and father wanted to be part of the family forever, to always watch over them. And so this is where this ability comes from, is combining ancestral magic with your firearm desire. And like I said, the more you use the ability, it will upgrade. But that's to be defined later.
Okay. Got it. I think for Otto, like, a lot of this is just a lot to take in.
It is. really
as
is.
you might imagine. He is uncertain about, well, his mother's wish and effectively the role, we'll call it, that she's decided to place herself into. Um, as the family's, guardian angel, to put it that way. Um, and I think for Otto, he's still bewildered of just why he is the one that is chosen. Um, for him, he feels the weight of the responsibility.
If you would like to
And
ask that question of why you were chosen to Harkon, you can. Maybe you'll get an answer.
I think for Otto, it's more of an internal dialogue that he has with himself.
Okay.
He's not ready for that kind of conversation at the moment.
Okay.
But it will be something that he is going to be thinking over for probably a while, as to why he's chosen. Of course, he can try to logic it or reason it, but it's the feeling that he can't really shake. In the same way that his father will always feel responsible for his mother's death, Otto still is left with the lingering feeling that he will, almost in a way, like never be enough, or that he's unworthy to carry the responsibility of his mother's gift. But we'll see how that plays out.
And this is part of the thing where time skips kind of lose some build up and detail. Just the nature of what have to face. And speaking of a time skip, unless if you want to do anything else, a few days pass, and Beck and Claw's messenger sends a sky carriage out to pick you up. The sky carriage is a small but maneuverable carriage that carries you to Andrahanat. Is there anything that you want to do?
Not in particular, other than probably say goodbye to his father. I think something that he'd want to clarify is, so Otto still wants to catch his mother's perpetrator, but I think at this moment his fear of losing his father is greater than the perpetrator. He still wants to go after that perpetrator 100%, but again, I think he is still scarred deeply from the loss of his mother, and like his father is the only one of the few anchors that he has in his life, and he's afraid of losing that. More afraid than going after the killer.
Your father will answer you.
He's still quite vulnerable from the entire experience.
Your father will answer you by stating that he is still going to be tracking the person and use his position of power as a council member as well as his wealth in order to try to hunt the killer, the murderer. Okay. As you fly over to Andrahanat with your family, everyone's kind of just in shock and silence. It has been 5 years since your mother's passing, but things certainly have changed. The atmosphere has certainly changed ever since then. Everyone has grown a bit older than last time. As you go ahead and fly over Andrahanat, you look out and you see that the ground is kind of a charred black. You see burning lava running through the castle aqueducts. Andrahanat is a rather large town, a rather large city. And in the center of it all lies the castle of Andrahanat, which is a massive forge factory for making all sorts of things, but namely machinations. But it also is the home of the fleet of the airships. You go ahead and touch gently down onto one of the landing platforms. Above, you see some airships that are just kind of hanging there in the sky, that are tethered next to some docks. You are greeted by another messenger who is a young blue griffin. Good morning, everybody. I am Zeloi, and I will be your guide to Andrahanat. If you don't have any questions about your flight or what you've seen, then please follow me. As you go ahead and walk through Andrahanat, the place is hot. It sucks, quite frankly, to be next to this lava. And Zachary and Tass kind of look around, marveling at the place. And then you see it in the distance. You see slaves working, mining out a new section of Andrahanat, a new expansion. You see that they're mining out a section of aqueduct for the lava to flow to. They have the lava loosely walled off in order for it to not fall onto the workers below. As you go ahead and enter into the castle itself, he shows you to your guys' rooms. Each of you now have your own room that is all close together from one each other. And the room itself, despite being in a dark, dreary place, this room feels the closest to comfortable as it possibly could for being in such a black stone type of place. Inside the rooms, you see tapestries of beautiful gold ordained frames, as well as many statues, vases, and dressers and furniture of just all types, with all a very fine architecture elegance to them. And the beds are all king size. Laying into one as a griffin, you can certainly stretch out to your heart's content, including stretching out your wings. Now, as time passed in Andrahanat, you finished your schooling there with some private tutors that came to your guys' room to gather you guys to teach you. It was a very different experience. It was the same teachers, though. However, it wasn't as cozy. It wasn't as comfy. Beck and Claw would make his appearance quite frequently and getting to know you guys. He asked a ton of questions and just tried to keep you guys happy around here. But there was always this looming cloud over each other's heads. Why did Father kick you guys out? Why is he just alone now at home with just the servants and himself? You were never given an answer, but on very frequent occasions, Father would come to visit you guys, as well as whenever he was part of the council meetings. He made a concerted effort to help you in every way that he could, but he was always distant. Now, I would like to ask, is learning on how to fly one of these contraptions of airships something you'd be interested in for your character?
I think it would probably be something that would be neat for him to learn.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and kind of play that out then. Beck and Claw goes ahead and knocks at the door.
Yes, who is it?
Hello. It's good to see you, Otto. You're the eldest of the family, right?
That is right. That I am.
I was wondering if you would like to ever take up airship lessons. I am the fleet commander, and I have some time to spare if you would like.
And Otto will kind of pause. Well, I suppose it will hurt. I have a lot on my mind.
Of course.
Maybe it'll help.
And follow me. As you go ahead and follow him, you see lots of servants just always around him. Beck and Claw is a very popular person in Andrahanat. He is one of the prized geniuses of the nation, and people are always wanting to learn under him. You see guards always moving with him as being his bodyguard. And you guys make your way up to the airship, and you see the airship floating there in one of the towers, and it is docked to it. There's a large runoff ladder from it to the airship itself, as well as it also has railings in order to safely get up there. You, however, don't really need that because you have wings. But it is there for those who don't, which happen to be Beck and Claw. Beck and Claw is a pony, and he is just a regular earth pony.
Oh, well, that certainly changes things.
I don't. Yeah.
Yep.
I meant to say that when he first came in. But Felix Xavier is a goat. Harkon is a minotaur, and Beck and Claw is a regular earth pony.
Interesting. Okay.
And of course, your father's a griffin. Yeah, that is kind of an important fact. But he goes ahead, and as he sees you, or I guess I'll let you explain it first. He goes ahead and gestures to the airship, allowing you to go aboard first. Do you fly or walk?
I'll just take the railings.
Alright. As you go ahead and walk along the railings are pretty uneasy. It rocks back and forth, swaying gently as the airship is rising up and down. The wind at this height is pretty nasty. As well as, not to mention, the smog. It's not too pleasant to be up here. But Xavier, seeing some of your face contortions at breathing in the smog, once we go ahead and get airborne, we'll be out of the smog's way, and it'll be a much, much smoother ride. And he goes ahead and follows behind you. I've never shown you. Why didn't I do this? Okay, look at the map. I will show you Xavier and Beck and Claw. And Harkin.
Wow, would you look at that? Amazing.
Don't look at that.
Well, I see the tokens, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. Did you see the dice? Yeah, it's in chat.
No.
Don't look at that. Alright, so on the left we have Felix, who is a goat. In the middle, we have Beckenclaw. And on the right, we have Harkon.
All right. Awesome.
I'll just kind of leave that there for a bit. So as you go ahead and make your way above the airship, the airship is pretty big. It's like ships you've seen in the waters or have heard about it or in books, but it's in the air. And it has a big blimp that's basically on it in order to carry you forward. And there's about 30 crew members that are working on the ship at all times. There's 3 floors. There's the top floor, which is where the captain's quarters is, as well as the deck. There's the second floor, which is kind of for like, it's for living space, it's for the kitchen, just basically those essentials. And then the third floor is where a lot of the cannons, storage, ammunition is kept. And then technically there's a fourth, and that's below it, but that's just kind of, whenever you go into water, some water must make it into the ship, and that's kind of where that pool of water lies. It's so it can help keep itself buoyant and always circulating.
Oh, is this the ballast tanks?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So as you go ahead and enter, not Felix, goodness, no, that'd be the opposite person. Beckenclaw goes ahead and gives you a grand tour, and the crew members themselves, none of them are automatons, and that is a very important distinction. Beckenclaw states that automatons is just something he can never trust.
Okay. Yep.
And Beckenclaw keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how he doesn't trust Felix. He does not trust Felix at all. And he keeps bad-mouthing Felix about all of his desires in life and how he wants guns for the automatons that the council keeps rejecting. Beckenclaw is very passionate when it comes to dunking on Felix.
Interesting.
Dude gave me a call for some reason. And Felix begins to teach you on how to fly an airship. Alright, so the most important thing is making sure that your blimp actually has some air that is inside of it. We can go ahead and get more propulsion by pulling on this string here. And he shows you a string that, he goes ahead and shows you a string that kind of ignites several fire pyres in order to lift the ship up. Think of it as like a hot air balloon, right?
Right.
And in addition, this is, in order to steer, you just go ahead and use the ship's wooden wheel in order to turn into a direction that you want. In order to go ahead and fall from altitude, you just lower the amount of fire that are inside the pyres. It is important that you try to keep yourself just, a good amount of in the air, not maximum amount of the air, because we run off of things of fuel, where depending on how much fuel we use is just kind of how much fire that you put into the pyres. So it's pretty important to try to always keep that as a minimum thing for the height of the fire. I feel like I explained that super poorly.
It's basic fuel economy.
Yeah, be fuel efficient.
Don't run on full engines if you don't need it. or in this case, it's literally just buoyancy. So you're just floating. It's not actually helping you go forward.
Well, through magic it does here.
Yeah, but it's not fuel. The
Correct,
fuel is
yeah.
just for keeping it upright or floating.
Yep. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and make me a 1d20 roll with advantage using intelligence, but not your proficiency bonus. So you just roll intelligence with advantage. And this is on how
Okay.
to fly the ship.
Wonderful. If I could, come on, please. Alright, we'll just do it manually. Alright. That's not what I wanted.
Oof.
Nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
You go ahead and take yourselves off from the I guess the ports, and you drop. In a heartbeat
Conductor,
fashion,
we have a problem.
in a heartbeat
Conductor.
fashion, Beck and Claw quickly yanks onto the rope in order to put a lot more fire into the pyres. He goes ahead and mutters to himself very clearly that he must have not explained that portion very well about less fire means we drop, more fire means we raise. He will mentally note that for in the future to word it better. That's all you had to do. Now, as you guys begin to sail, I would like for you to roll again on intelligence on keeping it steady. Is this a steady flight?
Advantage or no advantage?
Advantage, because Beck and Claw gives you advantage. Okay, with a 16, it's not quite like Beck and Claw's sort of maneuvering, but it's not bad either. You keep a good enough pace. It kind of rocks back and forth on the boat from left and right sides, but you're able to keep the wheel as well as the pyres generally on the same wavelength as one another in order to keep it a smooth ride. Beck and Claw.
We're just a bit rough on the stick here. That's all.
Yeah, a little too
Look,
jerky.
if it had a clutch, it would be burning, but that's okay.
So now Beck and Claw orders you to go ahead and we'll go ahead and use your token as the we'll use your token in order to kind of determine where you are. No, don't do that. There you go. So you are just now flying out onto... Why can't I move your token? Oh, I'm using a ruler. You are just now flying out of Underhanat, kind of going east towards the Solar Dawn Sea. Now, Beck and Claw wants to teach you on how to gently lower yourself onto the water. Roll 2d6. Or, sorry, roll intelligence.
2d6, my favorite.
Roll intelligence yet again with advantage in order to coast on the water. With a 20, you absolutely land this pretty smooth. You were being extra cautious, and you slowly ease yourself into the water, but the landing of getting into water was smooth. Now Beck and Claw tells you, okay, now as a commander of the vessel, it's very important to control your crewmates in more ways than one. So what I need you to do is to yell out to cut the... I need to come up with a better word for this. To cut the blimp. And what they will do as you put out the pyre fire they're going to go ahead and start to bind up the blimp portion so we can go ahead and lower our sails in order to actually coast like an actual ship.
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
Yeah, so
Is
now...
this just like so the airship is basically a really fancy way of saying that it's a convertible.
Yeah.
You're driving a Corvette, but it flies and goes in the sea.
Basically. So a lot of what the travel of the fleet does is that they travel a lot by sea, unironically. And the reason is so they can save as much fuel as possible to make it to their journey. The sea is a super cost-efficient way of traveling because it doesn't require fuel. And fuel is pretty expensive nowadays in Batavia, since it's new.
Well, I mean, they're burning fires, but
It's a
probably
little,
burning the
I'm
mass
giving
quantities?
It's vast quantities, but I'm also giving you the very much simplified version of what I'm talking about.
Right. Like, I imagine that, for example, some fuels burn hotter than others, and if you need those hotter fuels for particular airships, something akin to high-octane gasoline for airplanes instead of cars.
And one of the biggest things is that fuel is heavy. In order to lift yourself as a ship, you need to be pretty light. And that's kind of where you run into the issue of how much fuel can I really bring. So you really can't bring a lot of fuel. But, it's basically about that. If I went ahead and got this information by looking up planes and like jets and how much weight of fuel they have in them. And then you can kind of get your information from that, despite, there being an obvious difference between a plane/jet versus a fucking airship.
Well, yeah, totally. And of course, the fun aspect is that for those kind of calculations, you would, you can plot it in such a way that you know that you're burning fuel, which is also lightening your load, which means that to sustain that level, you're actually requiring less fuel as time goes on,
But there is a big
math,
issue.
Calculus, mumbo jumbo.
There's an issue of getting back to your own port, if that's your end destination. So you need fuel to lift yourself back up.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So the order, I guess, is given to convert the ship, which will be probably refined later on.
As you go ahead...
Draw the sails, or something.
Yeah, as you go ahead and draw the sails, you see a bunch of griffins that are already prepped and ready since, they've done this quite a lot. They know what to do. They go ahead and the griffins fly up in order to tie the sails. The other creatures, like minotaurs, go ahead and take the rope that they dropped from the bottom for the blimp in order to tie it up, and they tie it to the base of the main crow's nest to the ship. So now the blimp is folded in on itself. That way it provides the least amount of wind resistance as possible, and the sails are unfurled out in order to gain speed. Now, feeling the water is quite a bit different than being in the air, because now you're fighting a lot of resistance of the waves pushing you around. Now, you're going to roll another advantage on an intelligence roll in order to kind of cut through waves in a good angle that doesn't lower your speed. With the 13, you kind of have a bit of difficulty coming from the nice smooth air, unironically, to the choppy waters. You kind of wonder why people would travel by sea when air is just so much easier. You kind of flex your wings out a bit. And days like this go on and on. Beck and Claw would keep visiting you and, of course, the family, and take you out onto these trips, getting you more and more familiar on how to fly an airship. He's made such esteemed promises of like, oh, maybe you'll be the fine admiral of my fleet. And things along those natures. Now, you finally graduated from school. And Beck and Claw speaks with you about Batavia. So, I went ahead and set a bunch of funds aside from my own treasury for you to go to Batavia. Now, have you ever heard about Batavia?
Otto will respond. It's something my father has brought up, mostly in passing. I only know a little bit about it. I just know that it's a really fancy place, very expensive, and a very long way from our home.
Yes. It's a place where fate is not, it is a place where fate is your own. You choose your destination and path in life. Your father wanted to send you to Batavia because it's full of opportunity. Batavia, even though it's grossly expensive to get into, is a phenomenal place to be into. It teaches you valuable skill sets. You'll become valuable not only to yourself and your family in raising your own name, but also to the nation of the Commonwealth. And not only that, you'll be likely very valuable to the rest of the world as well. Now, going through and being as part of Batavia, they have some uniqueness in the fact that they convert your DNA. Do you know what DNA is?
It's, if I remember from my biology studies, it's the binding that holds us all together and makes us who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Passed down from family to family.
That is correct. Now, I've studied quite a bit of Batavian magic, we'll call it, but they use this thing called status magic, which allows them to kind of graft this DNA sequence in order to change part of your body into a certain desired archetype. Think of it like a class, so to speak. You could be a class of a fighter or a paladin, a ranger, a monk, etc. And using this DNA grafting technique that they've developed, it will help boost your muscles, your fibers, your tendons, in order to become what you desire to be. I extremely wish I had the technology over here. It seems to be a very closely guarded secret of the utmost top secrecy by the Batavians, and maybe one day we'll have it, eh?
Maybe one day.
Now, Batavia is a vassal state to the Silene Empire, but they have been sworn never to be partial to war. Regardless of it being Silif's war or not, they cannot be called to arms. This makes them quite a unique state of neutrality. Now, we're going to go ahead and fast forward some time again, and this is Beck and Claw getting you to Batavia. Okay?
Alright.
So as you said and spent your goodbyes with your father as well as with your family, they all wished you the very best. Your father handed you some extra rounds for the new rifle that you created together, and he told you to just let him know whenever you need more, basically. Even though you're going to be an artificer, and that's not going to be an issue at all.
Heh.
But as you go ahead and leave, you take the amulet, the soul coin, the gun, as well as the some speak stones. And you begin to make your journey. Beck and Claw will tell you that they're going to travel by water in order to save on fuel. And so you begin to sail out. Now, in order to actually reach Batavia, it's going to take months.
Yeah, that's a long journey. I'm trying to... Also, there's some scary things in the way between, yeah. Some pretty scary things.
Yeah. So, as you begin to head out, Beck and Claw will explain to you that there are some refineries or some ports that they can visit in order to gain and stock up on more fuel. So, traveling around the Commonwealth of Menelidil we'll be doing by air, but as soon as we reach northwards by the Rusting Citadel, we're going to have to drop to water and save on enough fuel so that we can fly over the Serpent's Maw into the World's Edge Mountains, or more specifically, the Great Checkpoint.
Right, okay, so we can still skip a good part of the land.
Yes.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I was looking at that, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem like a very nice place to go. But if we're skipping it, alright, that's probably cutting a good amount of time.
So, I have traveling notes here, which you do too under your journal. And traveling by air, you can do 200 miles, which is up to 1 day. And you can do by sea as well, which is 100 miles per day. So you're basically moving twice as fast being in the air than by sea.
Got it, okay.
So, with that, I'll try to keep numbers in my mind. That way we can, kind of talk about it. But your ship has enough fuel for 5 days of travel. And just by air itself. So you're going to travel 2 days to Mikgos. And you're going to stop there and fuel back up for... let me also write this down. Let's see. You're going to stop there and be fueled back up and by the Abyssal Refinery.
Alright.
You're going to go to... Oh, goodness. You're going to go ahead and go to Rathagar. And that's going to be an extra 3 days, and you're going to fill up there. So right now it's been 5 days. Then you're going to Mithrasme, which is going to be another 3 days. Now it's 8 days. And then you go ahead and just sail into water. So you begin to... man, why is it keep doing that? Stop that. There we go. 8 more days.
Yeah, that's a long journey.
I told you it's gonna take basically 2 months, a few months.
Oh my gosh.
And you go ahead and make
gosh.
another 5 days of travel. However, as you go ahead and reach northward of Togandal, rather strangely close to the coast, something happens. I need you to go ahead and give me a... I'm just going to tell you give me a roll. Just a d20.
D20, alright.
Great.
Well, fantastic.
So, as unprepared as you are, your ship suddenly comes to a sudden lurch. A complete dead stop. And let me go ahead and get the music here ready.
Random encounter tables. Uh-oh.
This is more than just a random encounter. It's a scripted encounter. Woo!
But I rolled an 8.
Okay. So I need you to play this music and put it on repeat.
All right.
This one will definitely be one that you have to do.
And here I was listening to the piano the entire time.
Suddenly, a large tentacle bursts from the water. And Beck and Claw immediately he gets to work as a captain of the ship. He orders his crew to begin to gather their arms and to raise up the blimp sail once more. During this, a kraken wraps its tentacle around the ship and starts terrorizing it. And the captain, you can hear from the captain's wheel, "Why is a Batavian creature out this far?" And no one seems to answer as they are all rushing around. The kraken tentacle goes for a punch, and Beck and Claw yells for shield. The shield blocks fast-moving objects, but not the slow ones. So, the kraken tentacle is going to go ahead and dive at the ship and trying to punch it. However, this isn't a ordinary ship. This is the commander's ship. It's not a normal ship. As he goes ahead and yells for shield, the floorboards on the ship go ahead and roll on itself, revealing runes. The runes go ahead and cast a magical blue glow, and the punch goes ahead and knocks against this blue glow, keeping the ship not from breaking apart. And as the kraken's tentacle goes ahead and slides along the ship, I need you to go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Saving throw. Well. Excellent. Oh, fantastic. Woo! I think that's a fail.
Yes, it is, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and deal. As you are slightly pushed by the kraken, the thunderous force hits right across the desk. Goes ahead and slides you against the deck. You take 1 point of damage. The people go ahead and they finally get the blimp back set up very quickly, and the captain immediately goes ahead and pulls the pyros in order to light them full blast. The kraken is going to go ahead and roll a strength check. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. So the kraken goes ahead and tries to grab the ship. However, the captain doesn't allow him to. He goes ahead and yells out for broadsides. The cannons from down below begin to rain their fire upon this kraken.
Pretty big number.
Dealing 79 damage towards the kraken. The kraken goes ahead and relinquishes its grip immediately, crying back out in pain. But it's not done because it has a lot of tentacles. I'm going to go ahead and let you do your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. So he is, Beckenclaw is currently elevating the airship out of the water, is that right?
Correct. He has started to lift. It is not lifted high into the air, it is just now beginning to lift.
Okay. And we've done a successful hit on broadsides.
Yeah.
Alright. How much of the creature is exposed?
So right now, the massive head of it, as well as several tentacles, go ahead and peel out of the water. A large amount of this kraken is exposed.
Okay. I have a gun.
Yeah, you do.
Sure. I will use the bolt rifle. How much distance is there between it and I?
I wouldn't worry about it. You can. Its tentacles are very tall, so regardless, you'll be able to hit on normal range.
I'm not going to aim for the tentacles. I'm aiming for the main body.
Okay, for the main body, considering that you're just now getting out of water, would be about 40 feet away is where the head is sticking out of.
Okay. What is its orientation as far as facing?
Towards you.
Is it... Okay. I will use the new ability, which is the soul coin, the coin split.
Okay.
So I will ready my rifle. I will use the coin split and aim for the eyes.
Okay. So with the bonus action, you can go ahead and throw the coin, and then as an action, you will be shooting it. And are you going to shoot it with the rifle or the repeater rifle?
Rifle.
Okay. And just to let you know, the gun is a modular design. You can use a action in order to change it to a different type of gun.
Got it. Alright. So let's see. I don't think I have this as my, a weapon that I have in my...
Correct. You don't yet. We will add that after. Just go to the items and just kind of do the 1d20 plus dexterity mod and then...
Proficiency?
Yeah, proficiency.
Okay.
And then calculate the damage using that as well.
Alright, so I believe since I have a dexterity of 2, proficiency of 2, that should be a plus 4. Okay.
With the 14, you go ahead and hit the Kraken, but it's not enough to pierce its deep skin. Another tentacle is going to go ahead and come out of the water and try to grapple you who's trying to shoot it in its eyes. Let's see here. Okay. It's going to hit you regardless, but you can try to use dexterity to dodge.
Yeah.
Or strength if you want to try to break through its grasp. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So as you go ahead and try to dodge the Kraken's tentacle, one of its suction cups unfortunately latches onto you and holds you. It begins to furl its tentacle around you, and the ship itself is now fully in the air. It is now 100 feet into the air. However, you are about 50 feet below that now, thanks to the Kraken pulling you into its mouth, trying to eat you. The captain goes ahead and swirls back around with his ship, and he yells for a broadside again. And it's going to rain yet another broadside attack.
80 is pretty good.
And it goes ahead and shoots it right into the head. and the creature kind of flails back around. And instead of you going into its mouth, it's now just gonna try to just keep you in the air, you know, while it's recoiling. One of the crew members wishes he's going to try to jump off in order to get onto the Kraken's tentacle to get you. I know this sounds insane, but I have reasons.
Can I make a string?
Yeah, I'll let you try before you this out.
Yeah. Nice. Cool.
Oh!
Thanks, game.
Okay. You absolutely rip your strength and rip the Kraken's tentacle off around you. Miraculously, somehow beating the Kraken at its own strength. That is insane. I'm surprised you did that. Okay.
I think it's like a little bit of panic and fear. Like, he sees, like, an absolute beast of legend. Mm-hmm. And, like, he's kind of scared crapless. And, you know, a lot of, like, flailing around and just, like, panicking. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's not just, like, pure panic as in thrashing around. I think it's just, like, he's using everything that he can. All of his strength, because if he doesn't, he's going to die. Very gruesome death. Mm-hmm. And it's that, like, fight or flight that kicks in, and it's that adrenaline rush that he's able to kind of, with his strength, slip from the grasp, and, well, now he will try to fly.
So the ship is about 50 feet away from you. You could use your action, we'll say, to go ahead and dash back to the ship.
Alternatively, I could also use the dodge action, and that would evade, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll do a place of flight.
Okay. So, as the person above that is ready to jump off the ship in order to try to pry you open, he sees you somehow just do it by yourself as a 16-year-old, or sorry, now as a, how old are you? 21 now?
Is it 18 or 21?
When are you going to Batavia?
You know, that is a very
like
good
21,
question.
22. Let's see.
I have my age as 18 at the moment.
Okay. So as
I
an
think that is
18-year-old
the
going to
age.
Batavia, you somehow rip the Kraken's grip from him and just peel yourself off from it. The guy from above, he goes ahead and calls out to the captain, he managed to get out by himself. What? How? And he goes ahead and just quickly moves over to the side of the ship, as it's now, the ship is like full tilting its broadsides towards the Kraken, and he sees that you're now free of the Kraken, and he yells out to you, "Dodge, my boy!" And he goes ahead and turns and just absolutely yells for the lower deck to hear. I need the what word should I use here? What word should I use here? It's slipping my mind. It's in the fucking thing. I need the whiz-bang activated now!
Oh.
And from your view, you can actually see it from the outside. The broadside cannons that are facing towards him that have been shooting from the crew members inside, the boards begin to flip. And the boards around the cannons flip, and they go ahead and let out their glyphs. And the glyphs are this like purplish dark type of energy, and the cannons themselves has this beautiful cyan look at the front of the barrels. And out comes these, what are called whiz-bangs. And now the cannons go ahead and make their regular attacks, and then afterwards, each one of these cannons that hit the creature goes ahead and explodes in a miraculous type of HE type effect.
We're no longer using solid shot, boys.
Dealing a total of 150 damage. The Kraken, you see it below you, is clustered by these munitions now. These whiz-bangs exploding right against the Kraken, as well as parts of the cannonballs exploding into its mouth. The Kraken lets out a wailing scream and begins to fling its arms in all directions. And I need a dexterity saving throw from you. You do have advantage because you are dodging, and you need to at least beat a 18. Okay, you do.
Done.
You carefully watch the Kraken, and you dodge one of its close-shaved tentacle strikes from it wailing about. The ship itself lowers to you so you can get back aboard. Do you do that?
Yeah, I'm going to board.
Okay.
Get me on.
As you go ahead and board onto the ship, hello too. We're just finishing up this session. As you go ahead and lower yourself onto the ship, the Kraken makes yet another one of the tentacle strikes. Yeah, welcome to. And you can kind of see it start to try to crush the ship. However, as you look at the glyphs of the shield, you can see that it's beginning to waver. Some of the glyphs start to just break on the spot, as well as others are starting to crack. The Kraken's going to try with its might in order to snap your ship.
Alright, well,
let's see if it does it. Oh, Jesus.
Not great.
Like shit. Okay,
good.
So, one of the tentacles tips are now like halfway into the ship. You have a perfect opportunity to try to just like cut it in half or shoot it in half.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, the best thing I have at the moment is my gun.
Yes.
It's probably going to take too long to change it to the double barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So I will probably... I can use the coin one more time. And that will split into potentially double damage. Mm-hmm. So what I'll do is I'll do a vertical split. So the coin will be horizontal and the spread will be vertical, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll still be in the same horizontal line. So, you know,
yeah,
it's going to make more horizontal strain on it. So that will just be a D20 plus 4. Nice. Oh, okay.
Your bullets go ahead and pierce through this soft, fleshy part of the Kraken, and you make a beautiful, like, a gash through it. And you notice that the Kraken's tentacle here, it's pretty weak. It's pretty loose. It's pretty fleshy. Several crew members that are above board on this ship start hacking away at this thing with their knives and swords. And they... Let's see if they... What's this 2d10 for?
That was just the damage because of the split bullet. But,
yeah.
Which is perfectly average. Oh, no, less than that, really. Actually, it's pretty bad.
So, as the crew member's gonna try to hack at this thing to cut it, let's see if that they can do it. So there are 6 crew members, so that would be a 68 with their weapons. 19.
Or that would be one fireball.
So the crew members go ahead and they start cutting off this tentacle. Now, it's never going to stop the Kraken, but boy, are they going to make it hurt in return. The tentacle goes ahead and it does get cut off at the tip. And the Kraken yet again wails and flails about. And suddenly, you see a dark storm appear above you. It's going to summon a lightning strike. So as the tentacle goes ahead and gets cut off, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's not good. You know, I'm not resistant to lightning. Most people aren't. Okay, alright. Get some cover, find some wood.
So, you knowing best how to deal with lightning, you choose to fly. Just hovering there so you don't touch the ground. And the lightning goes ahead and crashes down onto the ship, severely injuring several crew members, as well as unfortunately sending one of the crew members over. As again, the ship is tilted towards the Kraken.
Oh, wait. Is it possible I could save that person?
I will allow it. Sure.
What would I need to save them?
I will say either acrobatics or athletics in order to try to be quick and to catch them.
I will attempt acrobatics. Let's try to grab them.
God.
20. Holy cow.
Okay, like a absolute god on the field, you somehow saved the own crew member that was coming down to save you. Funny
no,
how
it's the same guy! No!
Funny how the reversal happened. You go ahead and quickly dash to him, very much proving yourself as a Blue Crest member. And you save him, and you pull him back onto the boat. He goes ahead and gives you a big pat on the back. He too is a griffin and probably would have been fine, but making sure you're fine is always a hell of a lot better. Okay. The glyphs that were part of the whiz-bangs are faded because it's a one-time use. And the captain goes ahead and assesses the situation by looking overboard. The Kraken is trying to escape. And the captain says that, oh no, not after the trouble that you have caused. And he's going to go ahead and unleash yet another barrage. But this time, the Kraken isn't in a easy place to shoot at, so he is going to have to roll for it.
Also, yeah, that seems like a good hit. So, here's the thing. He's been firing... So, the glyphs, are they on both sides of the ship, right?
Yeah.
Did he fire from both sides of the ship?
He didn't fire the whiz-bangs on the other side of the ship.
Okay.
However, the Kraken is kind of going... how should I describe it? It's going in a direction where the captain still has to bank inwards.
Got it.
He can't change direction.
Yeah, okay.
Despite rolling 18, it does reach the AC of the Kraken. So
oh, nice.
I will go ahead and roll the attack again. 71.
Nice
dealing
damage.
great damage. The Kraken wails out in pain, and suddenly we see the ocean turn black. And the captain, now looking at the ocean, it is impossible to see from this distance, from that far away, on what exactly happened. But the captain knows. That damn bastard went ahead and just inked all over the place. You get back here right now. And unfortunately, the Kraken does escape, barely, with its not much hit points left. The captain goes ahead and gives you a big, hard slap on the back. Damn! I can't believe you did all of that! Not to mention breaking free of the Kraken's grasp like that. And you saved one of my own crew members? Absolutely. Damn fine work.
I was just doing what my instincts told me.
Well, your
as best I could.
instincts are absolutely on point. We're super grateful that was just a baby Kraken and not a
It's a baby Kraken.
not the actual Kraken. Otherwise, we would have been dead. Not to mention, I think the baby Kraken thought of us as food. So that's good that he didn't, want to stay around and fight.
Don't worry, guys. Look, it was just an Ursa Minor, not an Ursa Major.
So to unfortunately have to wrap this up, I will kind of speak of the events that happen next. Harkin's own ancestral guardian is going to go ahead as a reward for your bravery, your saving of the crew, as well as the absolutely bravado that you put on in order to save yourself from the Kraken's grasp. They're going to go ahead and do this. The remaining tentacle that is now on board, the ancestral guardian will come over to it, and he will put his talons onto it and speak a verse. The Kraken's talon goes ahead and reduces in size greatly. And he goes ahead and makes it into a pendant or necklace, whichever one that you want. And this is your trophy for surviving a Kraken. This does have a magical effect property, but I will send that to you after I'm finished with it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I know we're going into overtime here, but
Yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll make the choice. It was a pendant or what?
It's kind of whatever jewelry type you want, whether it be a bracelet, whether it be a necklace, whether it be anything.
Okay. In that case, I will read the description and then I guess make that choice later out of session, just to streamline things.
Okay. To kind of quickly wrap up the session now, we'll go ahead and this is a perfect stopping point of next session. We will be in Batavia, and I will describe how each character kind of like finally ends up there, and of course everything that happens afterwards.
Alright.
This session, what would you rate it as, and what is your likes and dislikes of the session? And
So-
large asterisks that things had to be sped up quite a lot, so there will be things that are missed.
That's fine. I mean, that's just how things go. But, I really enjoyed the time that was spent for pacing-wise was good and where it should have been. Because, like, you want to have the touchy-feely stuff. Not be rushed. Like, that was one of the things I had referenced in the previous session with just, like, the mother and, like, not being able to have that. And for here, yes, it was longer, and it meant shortening other things, but it had the full impact in this session as it did, as it, should have had, right? And speeding that up would have diminished those, I think. And it wasn't something that was, like, overly long either. So it wasn't, didn't overstay its welcome, to put it that way. So I feel like, regardless of, timing, as well could have put it, that was fine. And yeah, still very impactful. Still very sad that, Otto's mother has died. And yeah, like, it's pretty awful. Like, in a way, he's had time to digest all of this kind of stuff. But it's like, it doesn't take away from how awful it is for him to lose his mother, like, see his father take a toll on his father. Otto is not in the place to be able to help his father. like to be like it wasn't your fault or anything, that kind of stuff, because he's going through his own stuff, and like his father's also going through it too, and he's just not able to like help him
Yeah.
or any of that kind of matter because he just does not have the capacity for it. Neither does any of the siblings. Like the best thing that Otto could do is during that time that he was with Beckenclaw was to be like to kind of fill in for his father
Mm-hmm.
as best he could, but that's the whole thing. Is like it's a lot of it is incomplete, um, which is where it should be with how Otto, like again, he's just not capable of doing it. His there's just not that support network, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons why that is, but it just is. And yeah, again, I think the parts that needed the attention or the most amount of time was spent well. And I mean, sure, the action is always fun, but like if that has to be quickly gone through, like I'm fine with that. Like I think it was pretty fun with just the broadsides and everything. But again, like my highlight was more of the storytelling stuff, and of course, I guess so far, as of now, I have rolled well when it has mattered,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the inspiration, I was right in that the determining the color of the assassin in their coat color was probably the biggest thing that I needed to.
Yeah.
I was afraid I was going to screw myself with the Kraken, but I guess things rolled really well,
You did
and
roll extremely, extremely well.
I don't know what was the save DC for the tentacle, but I imagine it would have been at least like 18 or 19, and I just rolled like a
So
flat 20, and I'm
the
like,
spell save DC, or not spell save, goodness, the saving throw in order to not be grappled as part of his attack is 18.
yeah, yep,
And
yeah,
for
so pretty thin margins.
yeah, and you of course survived the lightning strike as well. I didn't do half damage against you because you weren't the target. You were just around in the vicinity. The group
Yeah.
of people that were around its tentacle was.
Got it. Okay. Well, yeah, so really excellent. I guess if you were to walk away with a rating, it would still be 10. With the note that I feel like the things that I had brought up as concerns the previous session were kind of addressed. And again, I don't see it as a bad thing about the timing and everything. I think it went well, but
Mm-hmm.
and it was appropriate. Yeah. Uh, I'm very, very surprised at how sorrowful you can make such a backstory. It's not much, but it'll do, and it does. And again, it's just how you do it
Yeah.
versus just what it is. So yeah, that is my feedback. Thank you, of course, Mr. Bat, for hosting my session,
Yeah.
and I guess next session we will figure out whether. Well, it sounds like we're all going and meeting in Batavia proper. So.
Yep.
That'll
One
be
final note
exciting.
is that what the captain said about why a kraken is outside of Batavia is pretty important information.
I took note of it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I put it down. I'm like, yeah, okay, Batavian creature this far out? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going in my notes.
There's a reason why he said it in addition why he, touched base down over here and is lifting up before Batavia. But suddenly there's an attack, so things will end up changing just a little bit. Anyways, yeah, I gotta get to my next session. Thank you very much, Epsilon, for being here and taking part of my session, and I can't wait to see you again in Batavia proper.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
And goodbye. Yes, thank you.